Hey-chan! Go away. Hey-chan! Leave me alone. Come on, Hey-chan! Let me sleep. After 2 nights of not being able to sleep at all, the last thing I want is to be woken when I finally manage to. And it may be the last period of class with a textbook as my pillow, but I'll take whatever sleep I can get by this point. See ya, Chan? Even Chan wants you to get up. I don't care about Shizune. What Shizune wants, leave me alone. Jeez, Chan, I'll just have to wait. Wait, Misha's going to... You... This is bad. I'm up. Don't, you don't have to. I can feel my face flowering into scarlet red blush. The students in class are sitting bolt upright and staring at the shouting fool who was sleeping just moments before. Damn it. I let my head smack back down on the table with a noticeable thud. Wahaha! Misa's trademark uncontrolled laughter reverberates, though, through the classroom. As I turned to my mournful eyes to the bespectacled Suzune beside her, she carefully adjusts her glasses, desperately trying to maintain a look of serious disapproval. Narrowing my eyes, I can see a badly hidden grin spreading across her face. Head to Shizune. Shizune looks away as she crosses her arms slightly, barely on the edge of her control. Wahahaha! Misha's laughter doubles in volume as she glances at Shizune. All I can do is drag my hand down on my face in resignation. You two... Who was the one that slept in class, Chan? Yeah, it was me. Poor Chan was having a fit trying to wake you up, weren't you? I moved my eyes back to the standoffish Shizune, who with a single huff of confirmation returns looking away with her arms crossed. Why was Shizune trying to wake me up? Chan wants you to give you the handouts, and says the teacher gave you out while Chan was sleeping. Handouts? I suddenly feel 2 sheets of paper thrust down in front of my face. I can't even read that. Why is it so blurry? Following the hand holding them, I see the still pouting figure looking down at me. With its distinctive scowl, I guess I really am in the wrong here. Sorry about that. No dice. Her rated face still holds. I clasp my hands together and flick my head downward in apology. Very, very sorry. She huffs and slowly drops the papers on the desk. Damn. I look up over my head to see Shizune and Misha signing frantically to each other. A look of frustration on Shizune's face. It looks to be less dialogue and more of a tirade, punctuated with sidelong glances at me. To say it's unsettling is an understatement. The two suddenly stop signing and look at me in unison, both having exactly the same look of disapproval. In one fluid motion, Misha's hand suddenly extends high above me and comes rocketing down. Before I can even hope to react, my head is bouncing up and down like a jack-in-the-box. What? I quickly bring my hands to my head, more of the reflex than actual pain. Ow! What was that for? I open my eyes to see the two grinning at each other while exchanging an enthusiastic thumbs up. Chan says she gives you now, Chan. Could you forgive me with a little less force next time? Wahahaha. I look at the two with a blank face, Misha and Jejun. One is how no. Oh, Chan always says that you should check your student mail more often. She produces a bright yellow envelope and hands it over with one exuberant grin. Strange. Who could have written me a letter? Now, it's not the time and most definitely not the place to find out though. Giving up on the nap so cruelly stolen from me, I rub my forehead and slowly get up, putting my sheets and envelope in my bag before slinging it over my shoulder. I take a step back and move to depart with a small bow. Amisha clutches her sides laughing and Shizu nods in a curt farewell. I join the flow of students exiting the open door and turn to the corner in the hallway, only to end up face to face with Anako. Whoa, hey Anako. Good afternoon, Hisao. Silently falls between us as busily chatting passing students pass us by. She's fidgeting constantly, her eyes drawn to her rather unremarkable footwear. I take the bridge of my nose with my fingers while I blink, my eyes heavily in an attempt to make things seem clear. I'm barely staying awake as it is. Anako, you want to say something? What is it? Uh, um, I wanted to give you this. Hmm? She holds a rectangular piece of paper. I blink again to make out the text, though barely open eyes, slowly starting to make out what's written. Eggs, 2, bread loaf 1, dolphins, fine. Uh, shopping list? I look upward to raising an eyebrow. I usually go shopping with Lily, but I can't come, so... You want me to run errands for you? It's okay if you don't want to. I just thought maybe, She's panicking. I sigh, yet another battle lost. Well, this time by a weakly fought surrender. I smile tiredly and rest a hand on her head to calm her down. It's fine. I was gonna go anyway, just the stuff on the list. She nods and bows deeply twice, as if to make her gratitude perfectly clear. We're going to meet outside the school gates at 6. Thank you. I was going to get it, but I need to study for the test tomorrow. Test? Ah, that's right, science. How are you doing with it? She brains ever so slightly. I've been spending more time on it than before. I think I can do okay. Good work then. She too starts smiling, and much more earnestly than I at that. I have full confidence that I can do fine in it without an extra studying, but the fact that she's putting in the effort instead of just reading in the library is heartening. I'll grab your stuff and take it into your dorm in the evening. See ya. Well, the small way we part ways. I'll go to my dormitories before meeting Lily. I should be able to take care of it in time. Or my homework, I think. I don't even remember. Wrangling with a particular complicated math problem has caused me to be a little bit late for my meeting with Lily. Only a couple minutes, but enough to make me step smartly out into the courtyard and the school gates. I make a right turn and start my way towards the small town below, leaving a few students turning the other way to the bus station. I slip my right hand into the pocket as I walk into the orange sunlight in the dusk. Thankfully, the sweltering summer heat started to die down, making my way for a pleasant cool breeze. When I stretch my hands high above my head, a familiar figure takes form, in her right hand. Ah, Lily. She stops and turns around, swiveling her head slightly to try and work out exactly where the voice is coming from. Hey, it's me. I quickly catch up to her, coming in beside her, matching her slow pace as we resume walking. Good afternoon, Isao. Hi there. Alright. I glance up at the sky. A distinct tinge of orange discolor and clouds washing the footpath in its light. Long shadows from the trees fall across a wide road down the hill. So, Isao, what brings you here? Just going to town to grab some groceries Nanako sent me. Hanako sent you? Yeah, she said she needed to study for a test tomorrow. I was going to come down anyway, so I'll just buy her stuff as well. Unspoken is that Lily really could use some help to get food, but it isn't an obvious fact that neither of us needs to state. It's good to hear she's studying for it. I thought the same thing when she asked me to come with you. We continue walking down the street, the familiar sound of a cane echoing through the air as we go, except for the occasional passing car and then the leaves whispering in the branches. There's blissful silence. Thank God I can finally relax for the first time today. I glance over at Lily. The porcelain face of hers never seemed to lack the air of relaxed confidence. I guess that same could be said for her personality too. As she silently walks, her face remaining pointed at the street ahead of her. I look ahead and savor the cool air blowing over my face. It's probably the calmest moment I've had since the about face my life took so recently. To have it while walking to get some groceries. What a weird life. I feel a crumpled up note rubbing against my hand in my pocket and pull it out to check its contents. Let's see here. Eggs, bread, cereal, thyme, lettuce, shaved ham. That sounds like quite a carry back along with your own. Yeah, just how much does this girl eat anyway? My mind suddenly clicks that, yes, there's actually a person beside me. Well, wait, I mean, she laughs wholeheartedly. By myself. Her giggles punctuate her words, though she's making a little effort to express them. Quite direct today, aren't we? Yeah, you got me there. Still, it is quite a bit. Usually I go shopping with Hanako, so I know what she buys. It's the same thing every week. Huh. She's a good cook? He gives a nervous giggle. It's usually me who ends up cooking. I used to do so for Akira, so it's no problem doing it for Hanako as well. You can cook? But a short hum with an amusement lilt emanates from beside me. I wonder if the fact that she seems amused by my comments so often is actually genuine, or rather just from a want to make me more comfortable in addressing her blindness. There's a way around it. Some meals are more difficult to cook than others because of being unable to see what I'm doing, but it usually only takes a little more time. Fingers can double a very useful measurement tool, for example. It makes sense, but she'd have to be pretty careful not to hurt herself. I wonder how many times that happened, given it sounds like she cooked alone for possibly years with Akira working and her parents were gone. With that, the conversation trails off. I thought Hanako cooked. Maybe it's different, whatever. Compared to the awkward silence of Hanako, Lily seems genuinely content with what she thinks and stays quiet when there's nothing to say. The slick road under the feet is bathed in an orange glow, the occasional fallen leaf crunching underfoot as we walk. I let out a deep yawn, and my lack of sleep coming back to haunt me. Did you not get much sleep last night? I couldn't sleep at all for the last 2 nights. Probably insomnia. Lily's face suddenly becomes worried. It feels like a personal failure every time she gets worried about my well-being, even if it's genuinely nice to know someone cares. You have insomnia? Aren't you going to see the nurse about it? Nah, no real need. Been having it for a few times. My meds screw with me, my sleeping occasionally. Ah, I'm sorry. Come on, it's not your fault. At least I should have trouble getting to sleep tonight. You don't worry. You do worry me sometimes. I worry you? I reach around and scratch the back of my neck. I kinda want to address this. Hey, Lily. Hmm? I don't mean to sound weird, but please try to forget about my heart condition. She looks kinda lost. I hardly blame her. I guess what I'm trying to get at is, just don't treat me differently because of it. She bows her head slightly, her white cheeks reddening almost imperceptibly. It's only natural to worry about those around you. Well, it's still nice to know there's someone like that out there. It may be somewhat embarrassing to say, but it's the truth. Lily takes a breath to regain her composure and manages a gentle smile, though her cheeks remain flushed. The final downhill walk to the store passes in silence. Welcome. I suppose I'll get my stuff first and then Hanako's on the second round. I grabbed the 2 well-worn red baskets from the stack beside the entrance and passed one to Lily. Just as she did before, she lays it on the ground and slides her retracted cane between the basket handles before picking it up back on her right hand. When she takes hold of my arm in her own, I'm surprised just how fast this kind of casual contact became so natural. Mostly due to necessity, no doubt. See, in Hanako's version, we're going back to this, okay? We're just comparing the two. She just grabbed onto her cuff, but now we're holding arms. Shall we? Sure. While we navigate around the store, the odd person occasionally passing us pays us no heed at all. It's nice compared to the stares and whispers around the city. As we reach the aisle, I quick check with Lily what she needs to grab. She needs and grabs it along with what I want, putting her items into her respective baskets. It's not appealing to be dependent on so much for something so basic as shopping. Hanako would be practically a necessity for her to pick out what she wants after all. Right. I'm pretty much done with my stuff in Hanako's. You needing anything else, Lily? No, this should be everything. Off we go then. Only there's a queue mile long. Considering the store being large enough, one counter seems like it'll take a while. Damn. Lily gives an inquisitive look, unable to see the reason for my complaint. The queue's really long. Looks like we'll have to wait. Come on, Lily. Hisao. How strange. Trying the same move of my resignation, we reluctantly take our places at the end of the line. You have more time to, hang out with Lily. One person finishes, the line moves up. Another person finishes, the line moves up. By the time we finally reach the head of the line, I'm so close to dozing off that Lily has to gently pat me on the back for me to move up. Hisao. Oh, sorry. She gives a short sigh of consternation. As I move up, getting the groceries for Hanako, I put into several bags. Thank you, please come again. By the end we emerge from the store, Lily's holding a single bag while I struggle to carry both hands. Well, truly full. It's a lot of work, but thankfully the items in them are light. Even though we look skyward, it's obvious that a surprising amount of time has passed, the road outside being dark and lit by street lamps. Once Lily retrieved her cane, we set out back into the dormitories the way we came, leaving the welcoming warm glow at the store. Despite the road being empty of cars, the full bags abundantly make up for the lack of noise and constant clucking and squeaking together. My Hisao, it's good to find that you're eating well. I'm a growing guy after all. I need to eat all I can. That must be nice to being a man. What? Seemingly not noticing or ignoring my surprise at the completely out of left field comment, she continues on without missing a beat. Weight doesn't really bother you when eating most of the time. I get what you mean. Women tend to worry about that stuff like that more than we do, I guess. Exactly. It makes me somewhat envious, to be honest. Well, it's not like you can outright ignore it. With an affirmative nod, we continue on our walk. Huh, that's right. What is it? Hanako mentioned your birthday was earlier this year. Do anything special for it? She gives a long pause in thought for a few seconds as she recalls the event. Not really. It was just Hanako and I having a little party during the night after school. Your birthday's supposed to be a big event, you know. Sounds like a pretty lonely way to spend a birthday, just she and Hanako staying overnight. Birthdays always felt like a family occasion for me. They were a time when, in spite of their full-time jobs, both my parents would make an effort to be there for the day. well, at least for a party beforehand. It reminds me how Lily mentioned she hadn't seen her family in such a long time, and even ended up moving away from Akira's house afterwards. I guess it's the same in a situation as mundane as these. Considering her inability to read the packaging, just getting groceries would be a pain without somebody else around. And then she just has Hanako and I, and Akira, when she's off from work. Be that as it may, she seems to have many more distant friends among the students, not to mention people like Yuko. It seems to be her own choice that there's such a separation between those who are close to her and those who she only socialized with. It humbles me a little to see how Lily seems to have her life set up and going just as she wants. Yet Hanako is there for her to celebrate for her birthday, and I'm here helping her with shopping. It's a weird kind of symbiosis, I suppose. Are you alright, Isao? Sorry? You just seem to go very quiet, that's all. Sorry, I was just thinking. Oh? Now I piqued her curiosity. It's kind of an overly personal talk about, though. Okay, I wouldn't... Will it keep my other saves if I save? Whatever, create new save. Wait. Alright, good, it saved. A brief history of time. Current music track, raindrops and puddles. It's actually pretty good. Okay. I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna, try and wake myself up, because I've been yawning a lot. Alright, I'm back. And the only thing I did was, stop, and then come back, a few hours later. And then, now, I'm probably even more tired than I was before. Now I piqued your curiosity. It feels kind of overly personal to talk about, though. Come on, Isao, don't be like that. Tell the truth. It was just I was thinking about how you seem to have everything so sorted out. Even with Hanako relying on you, I can admit that even I kind of relied on you when I first transferred in. I think it's a good quality to have. I turned to Lily, surveying her reaction. She's forcing herself to look forward and furrowing her brow quite a bit. Her face looks a bit awkward, as if she was trying to find out the right words. Lily? I would thank you, but assuming that I don't rely on my presence of others is too much. You'd be wrong to think that Hanako simply depends on me with nothing in return. She seems to have a bit of trouble saying it, even though it's largely what I thought already. If she tried so hard to maintain her independence as anyone would have to do in her position, cited or not, maybe she finds it hard to talk about her own needs. It's only now that I realize the omission in what she says, though I decide to follow it up largely in jest to avoid things getting too personal. Oh, and what about me? She suddenly runs ahead of me and turns, blocking me off. With a smile, she holds her hands behind her, and she leans forward. You're different. Dude. And with that, she turns back and continues to walk ahead of me. A newfound spring in her step. Oh my god. That was really cute. All I can do is raise an eyebrow and give it that dazed grin. I don't think I've ever seen this playful, teasing side of her before. So, I'm different. It's hard to work out the exact context, but knowing her, this ambiguity was intended. Our relationship has been changing, at the very least, simply because I've begun to stand on my own feet more and started getting more curious about the situation of those around me. As to why, Probably a mix of personal curiosity and I want to try and work out how to deal with my situation. I'm less sure of Lily though. That's why her own statement, so similar to my own feeling towards her, throws me off so much. Watching her make her way up the street, cane tapping from left to right, I decide to settle the matters later and just smile. This is a nice side of her and I don't want to forget about it. Eventually, we get to the girls' dormitories, both my arms aching from the weight of 2 sets of groceries. We're finally here. Phew. I bend down to wipe my forehead and with the back of my hand. Lily stops in front of her door and sets down her bag, fishing around in her pocket for the key. Thank you, Sal. I really appreciate your help. This is nothing. It might be nothing to you, but it's definitely something for me. And with that, she steps through her door, closing it behind her. Oh my god. I blink. Okay, alright. I blink. Those are nothing but honest thanks, but I can't help feeling something different about them. Anyway, I have something else to do before I can mull on that at my leisure. I turn back to the door to Anako's room to proceed and knock twice in quick succession, the bag still in my hand rustling together. After a couple of seconds, the door slowly opens. If one weren't looking closely, they could be forgiven for thinking it hadn't moved at all. I twist my head to the side to try and peer through the tiny silver of the gap between the door and the doorframe. Hey, Anako, I got your stuff. Ah. With that, she opens the door and completely, making her plain room visibly open over her shoulder. Sparsely decorated, it's probably even more remarkable than my room. I hold out my right arm, both bags almost pulling it straight back down with their weight. Thank you, Hisao. I'm sorry to make you carry them all the way. It's fine, don't worry. Just don't make me do it every day, okay? I pass the bags to her as I give a light-hearted chuckle. After an initial transfer of the weight, she manages to take them easily. I'll be off then. Night, Hanako. Good night. See you in class tomorrow. With a deep bow, her groceries still held in both hands, she steps back and shuts the door. Making my way back to my own dorm, I put one bag into my other hand to balance them out. Even as I do so, I can't get Lily's light-hearted smile out of my mind. When I first met her, it would have been nearly impossible to imagine her like that. Indeed, it feels like we've been closer in the past few weeks since I first got to know both she and Hanako. The time that I spent with her each day, the small exchanges of happiness we share, those small amounts of joy as I get closer to her. I'm far from certain, but I don't think they're just normal feelings of friendship. Come on, dude. We all know what's happening here. Once I return to my dorms, I store away my groceries and begin getting ready for the night. I swapped the school books in my bag for those I'll need tomorrow, pulling out the yellow envelope Misha gave me earlier in the process. I got so sidetracked by one of the things after another that I couldn't deal with it earlier. Who could have written me, I wonder? The name neatly adorning the back of the envelope freezes me in my tracks. It's been so long since I've seen her writing. There's little chance I could have identified it as hers otherwise. Iwanako. Why? Should she have written me? I can't think of any good reason for her to do this. I almost don't open the letter, but there'd be little point to that. If I just left it alone, its mere existence would gnaw at me until I did something about it. I look down at the piece of paper on my desk, its bright and summery decoration beaming happily at me. The lettering is in pink, jarring badly with the yellow sunflower board on the card. The handwriting is neat, the character having been written thoughtfully with an unusual amount of care. I'd barely given the letters the second thought when it was given to me, but now I can't get its contents out of my mind. While I'd rather just like to say that I don't know why she used such an old-fashioned method of communication, considering a phone call or an email would be both much faster and easier, the answer feels obvious enough to given the content. A letter leaves a comfortable distance between the sender and the recipient. Unlike a phone, it isn't required that you engage in conversation, and unlike email, there's less expectation of an immediate reply. Statements such as, the third year seems to be very anxious about the final exams, and, it's so weird to think we're already seniors, isn't it? Are just small talk. Small talk that could have been achieved by simply replying to any of the messages I sent her while in the hospital. The ending, though, is the true reason she sent this. The last couple of lines added, almost as an afterthought. I wonder if we'll ever meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't. It's a statement that should hurt. I always heard breakups that are nasty stuff, but it feels like this is a simple reaffirmation of what we both already knew and said. It's like the precedings text no more than small talk that makes me most uneasy. I can't figure out why, no matter how long I sit here and look down at the bright and summery piece of paper. If you'd like to correspond with me, by all means, bring me back. It's plainly obvious that this is not the type of letter to be replied to. In the end, this letter is no more than a simple abdication of responsibility. A final statement to reassure ourselves that a relationship is over, even though it never began to in the first place. As such, I find that I have little problem in scrunching the letter and envelope into a ball and tossing it into the waste bin, writing myself off existence. I go to bed with mixed feelings, cheated out of a pleasant evening by the intruder from the past. Ironically, it takes a while before I can manage to sleep.